Hello everybody and welcome to the first week of BSL. So this is Deaf Awareness and BSL training. So how many people do you think are deaf in the UK? There's actually 9 to 12 million deaf people in the UK. How many deaf people in the UK use BSL? There are 50 to 120,000 people that use BSL in the UK. And how many deaf-blind people are in the UK? There are 24,500 deaf-blind people in the UK. But there's only about 1,000 interpreters in the UK, so not many. There are 5 important things that you must know when getting a deaf person's attention. The first one is to tap them on the shoulder. Second, to wave to get their attention. Number 3, flashing the light on and off. That's a visual sign to get a deaf person's attention. Number 4, feeling the vibrations from banging on the floor or banging on a table. And finally, number 5, making sure you're face to face and using eye contact with the deaf person. There are 5 things that are really important to remember. So, you ever wondered how a deaf person might wake up in the morning? We actually have a vibrating alarm that we put underneath our pillow that wakes us up in the morning. So now we're going to talk about 5 things you must do when talking with a deaf person. It's really important to first of all make sure you've got their attention before you start talking to the deaf person. Please use clear lip patterns at all times. You must ensure you're face to face with the deaf person and keeping eye contact. Try and use exaggerated facial expressions, body language, and gestures to make it clear what you're trying to communicate. Please be patient when talking with a deaf person. Also, if you could point, that's a visual cue for a deaf person to see what it is that you're talking about. Next, we're going to be discussing things not to do when talking to a deaf person. Shouting. Also, covering your mouth or looking away when you're talking to a deaf person. This is something that you shouldn't do. Talking really slow, or again, talking really fast. Please don't do this. The best thing to do is to talk at a normal pace so the deaf person can follow what you're saying. And lastly, please don't waffle on. Keep your sentences short, straight to the point, and clear. Okay, so now are you ready to learn some BSL? We're going to first of all learn the alphabet. I hope you're all ready. So this is the sign for A. You're going to take your index finger and you're going to point it to your thumb. So if you could all do this at home. Next is B. So this is the hand shape for B. You're going to take two circles, put them together a bit like binoculars. Next is C. So as you can see, this is the shape of a C. So again, the letter C. Next, you're going to bring your index finger up to the letter C, which makes the shape D. So again, you're going to bring your index finger up and create the letter D. Next, the letter E. You're going to take your index finger and point it to the opposite index finger, and that is the letter E. Next, the letter F. So if you take your index fingers and your middle fingers on both hands and you put one on top of the other to create the letter F. Next is G. So you're going to use two fish shapes, one on top of the other, to create the letter G. So again, G. Next, for H, you're going to take two flat palms and you're going to push one away from the other. And that is the letter H. It's like a sweeping motion on the top of your palm. I. Take that index finger again, and now you're going to point it to your middle finger. I. Take the index finger and point it to the middle finger. From the I shape, you are then going to follow it down your hand and up your thumb, which then creates the letter J, and it is the shape of a J. Next, we've got the letter K. So put your index finger up and then you make a hook shape with your other index finger. Bring it up to your straight index finger and that will make a K. Next is the letter L. So take your flat palm, your index finger and put it onto your palm. And that is the letter L. Next, the letter N. So you're going to take your three fingers and pop that onto your palm to produce the letter N. And next we've got the letter N, which is two fingers to your palm for the letter N. So that's two fingers to your palm for the letter N. So if you remember, L, M and N are all in the same place, but they just vary with the fingers. Next up is O. So take that index finger and you're now going to point it to your ring finger on the opposite hand. So again, take that index finger and point it to your ring finger on the opposite hand. Next is the letter P. So if you pop your index finger up and create like a circle shape with your opposite hand, which will then make the letter P. Q. To make Q, you have an OK kind of hand shape and then you hook your index finger over to make the letter Q. Next, you use that same hooked finger, the index finger, but put it on your palm to make the letter I. So again, index finger hooked round onto your palm to make the letter I. Next, we've got the letter S. So you take your little finger out in one hand, put it out in front of you, get your other little finger and place it on top of the other little finger. Next is T. So you take your index finger and you point it to the side of your hand, which is a T. And now it's the last of the vowels. So you're going to take your index finger and you're going to point to your little finger, which is the letter U. So as you probably noticed, all your vowels are on one hand. So the letter U is your index finger pointing to your little finger. Next is the handshake for V. Okay, so you take your two fingers, make sure that you spread them apart when you pop them on the palm to differentiate it from an M. So a V is your fingers apart onto your palm. Next is the letter W. Okay, so you bring your two hands together to create the shape of a W. W. Next, we've got X. So you're using your two index fingers to create the shape of a letter X. Again, letter X. Okay, and then we have a Y. So you need to get your hand facing towards you, the back of your hand facing towards you. Use your index finger to bring it down to create the shape of a letter Y. And finally, Z. This is the hand shape for Z. So flat palm pointing to the ceiling. Bring the other palm flat against it to create the letter Z. Okay, so if you can remember the vowels, that's A, E, I, O, and U. And now we're going to go through the full alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, E, W, X, Y, and Z. I hope you all feel confident doing the alphabet. Please practice, and thank you so much for watching today. I really hope you enjoyed the session, and we'll see you next week at the same time. Thank you, everyone. Bye.